Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Investigating True Gaming. And today's, I got to apologize for people here. It's a little late, I know. But if you've been following my Facebook, you know that I've been kind of sick. I'm still recovering from the flu. Thanks to Tamiflu and me catching it early this time, I'm finally able to at least progress a little bit here. But I figured it would be a little bit too much time if I let it pass here, so I figured I'm gonna as well just give you guys a video here because I like to keep the flow going. I don't want to keep going too long without posting a video here, so I think I'm well enough to for you guys to be able to get the next one here. So the next subreddit here that I found here is from And Elect the Dead, which was posted about 182 days ago. And the question is, why do people believe video games ought to be covered by a real video game journalism industry? And he or she goes, comics, movies, television, music, stand-up, and other forms of artistic entertainment are supposed to be fun, no? Where does this need for a serious industry journalism come from? Do fans of TV pore over TV guide articles? Are movie buffs demanding hard-hitting questions from OK Magazine? I don't think so. So why should video games deserve serious news coverage? And what would it even look like? A reporter shoving a microphone into a Battlefield 4 games tester's face demanding to know why all the bugs weren't found? Are there serious journalism outlets for music? Pitchfork, Rolling Stone, Spin? Or are they not the IGN and Kotaku of popular music? Do you think video games need serious journalism? If so, what does it look like and why does the industry need it? It's a very, very good question, and I've kind of sort of just pondered on it a little bit, and to me, it's sort of kind of like a hit and miss. I do understand what he or she's trying to say. It's like, you know what? Video games are supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be about relaxing and de-stressing and just sitting around. I mean, what do you need people serious, like suited people to go to game devs to get all the dish and the dirt and the news? Well, I think the reason that some people want this is because they want to know what's going on in the video game industry. Same as with people that go and cover movie events. They do it because they know that people in the movie industry and the movie fan and the movie community, they love to hear what's going on. Why is it that people go and to talk about music? Because they know that there are people out there that follow what's going on in the music industry religiously, and so does everything else. The reason that this sort of coverage exists is because they want to know what's going on in the world that they love and hear the most. And when it comes to video games, I think that the reason that they want this more is because they want to know more, because they love it so much. And I think what they want is better coverage overall. And to me, I think that all of this can pretty much just go back to what happened last year, and very much it was last year a big mess that occurred, and we can't talk about game journalism and thinking about how we can get better coverage without talking about Gamergate. And that hashtag campaign, this hashtag movement that got from last year, it started about how we just wanted better game ethics in terms of journalistic coverage because we were hearing about how game developers and game journalists and indie devs were in with other people, and it's just this Gordian knot of connections of friends and bros and people that know each other and they're doing each other special favors. All of that takes credibility away from what's going on. You know, we asked, at least people like me who were a little slightly more active back then, whereas now I'm just kind of just letting it be and letting the good people fight the good fight. Me personally, I would just have liked better ethics because, you know, if you don't have those good ethics, if you do not recuse yourself as a games quote-unquote journalist, or if you're the game journalist's quote unquote company, you have to sort of kind of find a way to keep it just about the game. I mean, you gotta figure out what is the line between that line that is there in that sand, that line between talking with somebody that you're trying to get coverage from and somebody that is trying to also basically be your friend. It increases the credibility. And unfortunately, because these are also the people that also cover what companies do, it also gets us to be more on their side. Because if we hear a company go and do some unethical thing, like say put a 12-hour embargo ahead of, that won't let anybody cover the game, so that way people can have a chance to go buy it, and then 12 hours later, that's where you start hearing from people that the game runs awful, that it's full of bugs. Then that's why we ask for better coverage of games, because these sort of things happen. It all stemmed up from last year. It all turned into something horrible. Now it's apparently this hate campaign against women in gaming, and the gaming industry is this big misogynist pool of evil people. That is why we need better coverage, because it got diluted. It got diluted and it got contaminated, and the bad people, like the people that are going on TV are claiming that they're being harassed and that they're going out on police escorts, and it's because of gaming and because of gamers, or that SVU episode. That's why we need it, because we need they want a serious talk, and that's what has not happened. We would like to have a better coverage and keep it focused on games, but these ethics that get broken are why less readability is on this game journalism category. They need to be more organized. They need to be less sensationalized and political. They need to stick with talking about games. I mean, that's why we go to your sites. We don't want to hear about the politics or nothing like that. I mean, yes, those are important subjects, but I think when you blend them over into video games, that's when you start to kind of get this. That's why, and the Dead is wondering, it's like, but wait a minute, I think these aren't supposed to be fun. I mean, when we go to want to learn about movies, we don't want to hear what the political views of the director are. We don't care. We just want to know what's going on with the movie, how's the movie being made, who did it, what he did before, who's writing it, who's doing the photography, who's acting on it, and the stuff that's happening on behind the scenes. That's all we want to know. But you get people like Polygon and those people that demonized gamers during the Gamergate good old days. I know it's like quote unquote good old days, when they all got really agitated, declaring is the death of an identity. These people, they just sensationalize this whole thing. They use those things, and they focus less on the gaming, and that's when you get people who do reviews that bring things in it that I think should not factor into the game. I know that they're personal views of the reviewers, but honestly, if you're going to take away points for that, honestly, that you're not just representing yourself, you're representing the whole freaking company. But you saying, oh, this sort of thing just kind of gets to me, I think that just sort of just goes, oh, well, they're going to start looking at every game that's like that. So they're not judging games anymore on what they have achieved technically good. They're going to do that just based on what their feelings are about the game. So I think it has to be more serious, in my opinion, but not like the news. I mean, I don't want game journalism to turn like CNN. I'd like to see something along the lines of G4 before things went wrong. G4 at first, I do not like their hostile takeover of Tech TV, but they had the right idea at the beginning, Hey, even Tech TV was doing it right. They were giving you things about that was happening in the news in tech. They were reviewing upon it. They talk about technology. They talk about the new things that were happening. They talk about what was going on in the different industries, because technology, like video games, is a huge industry, and there's tons of it that you could talk about. They lost focus, they turned it into a man channel, and they kept on, the rest is history. It's now the Esquire channel. It's completely gone. All remnants of G4 are completely gone. And to me, it had the right idea at first. They wanted to do just a whole bunch of things all at the same time, all together. To me, if they have just, they had the right ball going. There were shows, there were parts in there that were talking with game developers. They were talking about their lives. They were talking about game culture. To me, those are the things that I think that gamers look forward to. They want to know what goes on behind the games that they play, about the people that make them. And honestly, if I were to be this one overlord of game journalism, I'd say, look at the YouTubers that have been doing this for these past few years. Look at Total Biscuit, who just got recently demonized by good old James Portnow, the guy that writes all those extra credits episodes, has said that apparently he was taking bribes and, just pulling things out of his ass, saying that, that Total Biscuit was this big leader behind this movement without knowing anything. And, well, that... Oh, and he said it while he was going through chemo. So, when I heard about that, I instantly unsubscribed from extra credits. I don't care how good that show is. But it goes to show you that, people do not understand what Total Biscuit is. He is what I think games journalism could be. In my opinion, Total Biscuit is straightforward. He gives it to you straight. He talks about issues that are happening in the game industry. He understands the game industry. He studies it. He tells you what he thinks about the games. He doesn't give it a number or anything. He just tells you, he shows you the game. He has years and years of experience just playing games, and he tells you how it is, and he tries to make it as professional as he can. What about Dodger Lee? She does a lot less of Press Hard to Continue, which kind of breaks my heart, but, she used to do it all the time, and when she used to do it, she used to straight up tell you what's been going on in the game industry, and she used to give you her own personal opinions, you see. And I've also noticed that other people like Force, like from Force Strategy, he and her, they give you not just what's been going on with the game industry, but they also give you their personal opinions because they're gamers. And that's personally what I think that this industry, if you need to turn the game journalism into something that is more concrete, that we could look and see and go, there you go, game journalism. You need to have people that are gamers. You need to have people that are in the game industry. You need to have people that are a part of the game industry. Gamers are a part of the game industry. That's who these companies, these big developers and publishers cater to. Without us, there would be no game industry. Just like the movie industry would be nothing if nobody would go to see their movies. I honestly believe that we are much more needed than they are. And they understand when Dodger gets on front of a camera, why is it that we find her so likable? Why is it that we find her so relatable to us? It's because she is pretty much like us. She plays video games. She gets and spends time. She's also doing Let's Plays. And, when we listen to her and watch her and we see Force and we hear Total Biscuit and we hear a bunch of other people, they are the ones who have been involved with video games. We believe them because, we get a feeling that we know what they're talking about because they've been doing it for many, many years as well. And to me, when you have gamers in an environment like CNN that is professional, that knows that games are not to be demonized like most news outlets do, you could see then from there that, there's a reason why there is a huge outcry of people that do not like gaming when these big news things hit and they find out that the guy that did these things are gamers. Immediately the media goes to boost things up. The gamers. The gamers are evil. Gamers are bad people. You should not trust them. But if you have professionals in your department that are gamers, that do a good job to cover the lives of game industry bigs, and they talk about the indie industry, and they talk about why is it that things happen, they give you guys guys what they want, what you want to hear, give it to us straight to the gamers, you can bet that there will be people that will demonize this less, because they'll go to their team, they'll go and look back and they'll go, but wait a minute, we got a member on our team that is not like that. He is a professional, he follows ethics pretty well, he goes about it, and he does things like a true professional does it. So why is it that we're demonizing his culture? There's no need to do that, because we know now that people like him exist. And I know that it would be kind of ignorant of me to not mention Jeff Keighley, before Dorito Gate, before that painful sit down of him just promoting that. To me, I personally think maybe Jeff Keighley might have shown himself a bit that he was for sale, but I think maybe if you can take that part out and maybe he could just stick more to just covering games and going back to what he was doing, maybe if he could get back to those days, basically that would be what I think a game journalist would look like. If you take out the negative aspects, if you take away the ass kissing, if you take away the things that unfortunately happened with Jeff Keighley, if you can take that and keep it more professional, and I think bring a lot more of journalistic ethics, become impartial, not take or be sponsored by anything, I think that personally it would be, I think that would be, to me, what a game journalist would look like. And personally, to conclude this, I would just like to say I think the reason is because that I think that we would need something like a serious game journalism industry is because it's become such a big industry. And when you get people doing things that are against the game industry and nobody stands up for the gamers, you get to see these practices happen over and over and over again. Journalism does, in fact, provide the world with insight on what's going on. And if more gamers know about what's going on, I think that's when we start seeing things getting better. And I would love to see things getting better. Last year was a terrible year. It's led me to distrust pretty much every single site that I go to, and then I find out that my favorite game site, Joystick, gets acquired by Gizmodo, or no, not Gizmodo, Engadget, and well, rest in peace. But it's led to that. If we can get to maybe perhaps some degree of professionalism like that, I'm not saying that totally become like the CNN. I'm not talking about GNN. I'm talking about maybe having people that are a part of the game industry do this, and also have people that are experienced in covering stories. Maybe that might make game journalism a little bit more credible, and that would be, to me, what it looks like. Well, anyway, that's a great topic, and that's the end of it. I'm sorry that I've been away. I've got big things coming to the channel. I've got my Tampa Never Sleeps video. I've got my M50X video, and of course, I keep promising you guys the Scarlet video, but I haven't been feeling all too well, so bear with me. I'm still recovering, but I'm able to do this video, so there is that. It's getting good. Bless Tamiflu. Bless the doctors that created that goddamn Tamiflu. So, well, I'd just like to thank you all so much for the messages that you've been giving me over in the Facebook, and thank you all for watching and sticking with me. And as always, my name is Fico, and that was my gaming mind. Peace out, everybody.